the importance of walking away as soon as you spot red flags. Now, in order to really break this down, I have a very good example to share with all of you. One of my long-term subscribers sent me an update on a situation. He was dating a girl for a few months, and sure enough, red flags started to pop up. And once he realized that she wasn't right for him, he walked away. So even though they had a breakup, he is the one who ended the relationship. And this is the lesson I want you to take from this video. If you are ever in a similar situation, you must have the courage and the strength to walk away. Okay? Because if you choose to stay with the wrong woman, then you're responsible for that. So, with that said, let's get right into his email because this is going to be a long one. I will keep his name private though. So Jimmy writes in and says, update on my amazing life. Hello Christian, this is Jimmy again. A belated Happy New Year, my brother. He reached out to me a couple of weeks ago. I hope 2022 brings you and your viewers more joy and success. I've been watching all your videos as soon as they came out and they are fantastic. I'm looking forward to reading your book as well. Well, thank you very much. I always appreciate the kind words you guys say in the comment section, emails, everything. It means the world to me. You previously asked me to update you about my new girl after a few months. Well, we broke up after 3 months, give or take. In this email, I will tell you a little bit about her and how we broke up. I would appreciate your thoughts on it, and this will be a little long, so I apologize in advance, but I want to give you as many details as possible. Also, as always, feel free to share this with your viewers or whoever you think may benefit from it anyways. Whether you're watching and you're single, or perhaps you're in a relationship that isn't going too well, whether you're a man or a woman, it's very important to know, should you stay or should you leave? It's up to you. You've got free will. Now, let's call her Claire because my previous ex was Jessica. Claire was really beautiful and fell for me from day one. I hate to brag, but all girls do, lol. I love it. I'm 37 and she's 32. We had a great time together. But I always warned her to slow down because we were both in limerence. She was between jobs when we first met. She was from a different city. She was working here when we met and wanted to move in with me after the first month, but I asked her to rent an apartment close to me instead. Good. See, to me, that is already a red flag. She doesn't know him. He's not her husband. He's not a boyfriend. They don't have kids together. Why does she need to move in with him? Within 1 month, they're still strangers. Does that sound like a quality woman? Already, that's a sign that she could either be emotionally immature, she has, one of these very anxious attachment styles, or maybe there's some serious problems that have nothing to do with immaturity, which means you should stay away from her. But he did the right thing and said, nope, you ain't moving in with me. You can go get an apartment close to me instead. She stayed in my place for 2 weeks until she found a new job and got her apartment. I said we are not officially living together until we are both out of limerence, and that it would take at least a year if we are moving too quickly. See, he is setting boundaries. As a man, he is leading and setting the tone of their relationship from the beginning. He's telling her, these are the rules. This is the layout. This is what a real man does. You can't just go in blind based off of your feelings and see what happens. He's giving their interaction structure and order, which creates a safe space for her to be feminine, vulnerable, and be honest with him. This also means that if she's untrustworthy or she's not a good woman, within that context, as time goes on, Red flags will come out. But he is setting the tone of how things are going to play out. This is what a man does. He gives their relationship structure, order, limits, accountability. He's telling her, I don't know you. I'm not going to move in with you when I'm emotional, when I'm into you, off of lust. I need to see who you are. That's what you're supposed to do. See, this is what I really like about this guy. He isn't leading with his emotions, with lust. He's putting his principles first. He recognizes that the relationship is fresh, it's new, she's going to be on her best behavior. There's a chance that she might not be the type of woman that she says she is at the beginning. So in order to protect himself, what is he telling her? I'm not moving in with you right away. We're both in limerence. I need to see who you really are. He's setting the tone. He's giving their interaction structure and order. He's giving her something to follow. Okay? This is what real men do. He is leading. He's letting her know that he has standards. That he's in control of his life. That she simply can't walk in and have access to every part of him when they're still strangers. She needs to show herself worthy of living with him and growing closer to him. That's a man of real quality right there. And that's what you should all say to a woman. Anytime she says something like that, that's how you handle it. And if she's worthy and she actually has good character, she'll be patient and respect that. And she will appreciate it so much more eventually when you allow her in. So either way, it's a win-win. She showed a lot of green flags when I first met her. No sex until she knew me well. I think it was her 7th or 8th date. And she said she was a very faithful woman. Now, this can be a good or a bad thing, and I want to just explain this. If a woman is genuinely chaste, genuinely modest, genuinely values her purity, and truly doesn't give her body out, then yes, not only will she make you wait, but this will be backed up as time goes on with her actually being faithful, with you actually finding out that she doesn't have a high body count, that she doesn't sleep around, that she has no ex in the background, that she can actually pair bond with you. Versus women that are emotionally damaged, which haven't healed from the past, women that are all over the place. Some of these types of women are smart enough to know to put on a good girl act, to make you wait, to trick you into thinking they are like the other type of woman that is truly chaste and modest. Whereas she's just doing that to make you think she's a good woman. When in reality, she recognizes you're a quality man and doesn't want to scare you away or kind of make you think that she's easy. Because as a quality guy, you know, if she's willing to sleep with you right away, she's promiscuous and she does it with everyone. So there is going to be some women that will kind of slow it down to give you that perception, right? It's almost like deceiving you into thinking that she's a good girl. And which is what, and this is another reason why you don't rush in right away, why you don't get married, you don't move in, you don't have kids in the first few weeks, first few months, because you still don't know. You still need to give it time to see if who she is at the beginning stays true in the long run. So she's telling him, I'm faithful. We'll see. She was married to an abusive guy for 8 years and never cheated on him. When they broke up, she took a full year to heal before dating again. She said that she is working on healing from her past trauma. She was very well educated with a successful career that gave her freedom to work in any city, but said her main goal was to be with a real man, have kids and raise them to the proper values. She said she would never have kids if she couldn't guarantee that their father is a good man and would always be there for them. Now, to me, that sounds like a green flag. But remember, it's still at the very beginning. There are women out there that can fake being traditional, and they say that because they recognize you're a good man. So she will tell you, yeah, I want to be a housewife and I want to be a mother and I want to have a family and I want to make sure that my future children have a good man. This is very important to me. So she can tell you she's family oriented, but ultimately her behavior will give you the truth. But most guys would hear this and think, perfect, those are green flags. And then they lower their guard. And then they get even deeper into limerence because they're going off of what she said at the beginning. And again, I'm repeating it for the guys that are new. You need to be very patient. You need to weigh everything. You need to vet her character. However, red flags started showing up. What was I just saying? Always take it slow. Don't rush into any commitment. There you go. Red flags started showing up as I got to know her more. Her behavior spoke louder than her words. I love it. She grew up in a very dysfunctional family in Eastern Europe. Her dad left them right when she was born. And her mum got married to a very abusive man. What a coinkydink. Like mother, like daughter. She learnt by emulating what she saw her mother do from her childhood. Right? She's a little girl and she sees her mother marry an abusive stepdad. Right? So that's the only type of father figure she had. Right? She doesn't learn how to love and trust men. She doesn't learn how to identify or appreciate a good man. So her femininity is going to be wounded. Her esteem is going to be broken. Her trust in others and herself is going to be damaged. It's going to require a lot of work. So she grows up and just like the mother, marries an abusive man. So her mum married an abusive man, but had to stay with him for a visa in a different country. She left him a few years later to an even more abusive man. Basically, Claire married the first man who would get her out of this mess at a very young age. Yep. Now it makes sense. For a lot of guys that don't know, a lot of countries in Eastern Europe suffered quite badly under communism. A lot of families were torn apart. And when the Soviet Union fell, a lot of the people that were left were in extreme poverty and famine. A lot of people were in pretty bad places, so to speak. And sadly, lots of women from Eastern Europe, even though they're the most beautiful women in the world, some of them, not all, some of them attempt to flee to the West by being gold diggers. They use their beauty and they'll just get some loser that's willing to take her to Western Europe, Canada, or the US so they can live a good life away from poverty. It's unfortunate, but this is why you need to be careful. Doesn't mean all of them are like that. Of course not. There's good, traditional, faith-based women that live on faith-based values from Eastern Europe. But it is also true that lots of gold diggers, lots of women that sadly getting to sell their bodies in pornography and other things like that, that's what they become because of the hardships and the situations. They don't know how to find an honorable way to get out of it, so they become gold diggers and they use a type of women, and that's all they know to survive. It's horrible, but here's another example. So that's pretty much what this Claire did. That's why she married an abusive man, to get out of poverty. So then she left him a few years later to an even more abusive man. Basically, Claire married the first man who would get her out of this mess at a very young age. And of course, she had to be attracted to an abusive man. I explained to her that her attraction to him was rooted from the men that raised her. And she was fascinated by my knowledge of child psychology and trauma. And that's the beautiful thing. As a man, when you have acquired wisdom and you know how to lead your woman, you also know how to teach her. and you add value in such a deep way that it can really impact a woman, and she'll become more fascinated with you and respect you more, as long as she can pair bond and she's actually okay, right? But that's a beautiful thing, because he's teaching her, he can help her. And that comes with him being a good man and having himself in order in the first place. After her divorce and healing, she got into multiple relationships with really bad guys. So apparently she's healed from her divorce, but then she's always with bad men. That doesn't add up to me. They treated her badly, and she felt like they all used her while she allowed them into her life. So if it happens once or twice, it's not really her fault. But if it's happening all the time and there's a pattern, she's allowing it in because those broken pieces inside of her are attracted to the abusive behavior in those men, because that's what she saw growing up from her stepdad. At one point she had breast implants, but she said she had it when she was at a low point after her breakup. Well, she's modifying her body. Again, women with a healthy self-esteem are happy with the way God made them. They do not need and they do not wish to change or alter their appearance through cosmetic surgery. Okay, and most men, we don't even like women that have all the stuff done to them. She doesn't accept herself. She's not happy with herself. She doesn't love herself. How could she ever love you? Something to think about, guys. But at least she's honest and she's telling him that. She started racking up her body count and had many guy friends. Two of the worst red flags. I found that out later. Otherwise, I would have dumped her sooner. Understandable. She still followed one of her exes on social media who was apparently having a great time traveling around the country. She said that he's living the life she always wanted and hated him for leaving her 2 years ago. Well, she's quote unquote healed, but her behavior, like Jamie said, speaks very loudly, doesn't it? What does her behavior indicate? She ain't healed from anything. Even though she says she's in the process of, and she's working on that, her actions are telling me a different story. She's jumped from man to man. She modifies her body. Okay, men coming in and outside of her like it's a drive-through, destroying her ability to pair bond. She's hurting herself even more. She's creating more problems for herself. And yet, here she is telling him as well that she's not over her ex indirectly. Because she hates her ex for leaving her 2 years ago because he's living the life that she always wanted. Sounds like something a gold digger would say. Because a woman that's emotionally stable, she's feminine, she has good morals, she wants to be with you for you. It's the broken women that want to be with men for the lifestyle. In other words, she always wanted to travel around and explore new places with her partner. She was a damaged woman and wanted a dedicated man who would have nothing to do except travel around and have fun all the time. She never healed, and that made all her priorities mixed up. Knowing all this, I honestly don't think she healed for a year after her breakup, because looking at the timeline of her stories, this year cannot be accounted for. I agree. And again, this is why it's so important, men, to be patient. Even if she displays a few green flags at the beginning, that's great. But give it time to see if it's actually true, if it actually matches, if it stays consistent, right? A good woman is always going to be a good woman, okay? A harlot, to say a YouTube-friendly word, is always going to be a harlot. It's not your job to fix or save her. Not your responsibility, right? And this is what you have to understand. Okay, if a woman tells you, yeah, I'm a good girl and I'm faithful and I'm honest and she has all these lovely qualities, but then after 3 to 6 months, you start to see that that isn't true, then she was lying to you. She was selling you a dream. You've got to avoid such women because there are good ones out there. It's your job to assess that and discern her qualities. I told her that she needs to heal from all of that before she starts a proper relationship with me. I always told her, if you don't heal from what hurt you, you will bleed on someone who didn't cut you. Well said. I suggested that she sees a therapist because her anxiety would damage our relationship. She always kept complaining about my busy schedule and was anxious when I was at work. She always had nightmares of me leaving her for another woman. I did what any stable man would do. I still focused on my career, but I gave her all the reassurances she needed that I would never cheat on her. I would casually leave my phone unlocked with her. I would sleep with her every night, either at my place or hers. I cut ties with all the women in my life, and I even refused to attend a female friend's birthday party because she was working that evening and couldn't attend. Very respectful. I told her that I have enough respect for her to not hang around other women if she was not with me. And I made it clear that it is disrespectful if she hangs out with male friends or I hang out with female friends. This is what I love about this guy. Do you see how direct he is? He's straightforward. He gets right to the point. He's not being passive. He's not being fearful. He's not getting angry that she's a little bit insecure. He's calm. He's peaceful, right? He's in a masculine manner. He gently leads her. He does everything through his actions to make her feel heard, seen, understood, and reassured. Perfect. That is exactly what you should do. Because men that are immature, men that don't understand how to make their women feel safe, they would get angry at that. They would get upset and say, what do you mean you don't trust me? And they would start, whining and complaining, and then he becomes more feminine and she's forced to be masculine, and then the whole sexual polarity just disappears. So he handled it beautifully, right? That's exactly what he should have done. He made it very clear. These are my standards, these are my boundaries. This is how I'm treating you with respect. Now I expect the same in return. But being the leader means to go first. He's setting the example. He's setting the tone. Perfect. I love it. So, but she was more focused on me and did not work on healing. That's the key there. She didn't work on healing at all. Which means she's still going to stay stuck in the past. And given the fact that she's not over her ex, she could never give herself fully to him because part of her emotions, her mind, her love is still stuck with the ex. Okay? There's no way you can compete. If she's imprinted by him, if she's emotionally connected to him, what can you do? Nothing. She would need to take out that cable and plug it into you. Only once she's fully connected to you can she give you all her love. As that old saying goes from the Bible, you can't serve two masters at once. In terms of relationships, guys, you can only ever be connected to one woman fully at a time. Which is why if you haven't healed from an ex and you try and date another woman, something's going to feel off. You're going to be thinking about her, you're going to be lusting over her. It's not going to feel right because part of you is still with her. So you can't give your full presence to this new woman and it will cause serious problems. And this is what's happening with this girl here. She's not over her ex. She still has feelings for him. She still has resentful because he dumped her 2 years ago. 2 years and she's not over him. And then she's dating him. Oh, and remember, she wanted to move in within a month. So what does that tell you? She never wanted to move in with him for the right reasons. She wanted to move in to blanket her emotions, to have security and safety. This is why you take it slow, because red flags are always going to pop up, guys. Whether it's, well, they're always going to pop up with the wrong woman, but they will always show up within the first few weeks, the first few months to a year max. Or until you come out of limerence and you are blind to it, then you will start to see them. So no one can ever say, oh, I married the wrong woman. Oh, I didn't know she had all these qualities. Rubbish, lies. Go back to the beginning, go back to where it all started, and if you kind of piece things through, you will see things that you turned a blind eye to because you were lusting after her. Because you were lonely, you were insecure, you were needy. You just wanted to suck on a titty. That's what's going on. Because good women are going to have 0 red flags. And when you have a good woman, it's A-okay. Got a green light to keep dating and courting her and furthering things along. But when you date these women that come with all of these problems, red flags are going to pop up. And if you choose to turn away and put a blindfold on because you don't want to see that, because you're too afraid to dump her and start again, then you pay the price. Because things won't end well with that woman. Or if she settles for you, you're just going to have a miserable life. And then you're going to become bitter and cry that all women are the same, when that's simply not true. You're responsible for the quality of woman that you choose, guys. I had previously set a rule to have a minimum of 1 date night per week, no matter how busy we were. And I always did more, but she always wanted more. It's never going to be enough for somebody that's insecure. Now let's get to the breakup. Let's get to the core of this story. She moved to Hawaii for a few weeks for her job. I agreed only if we call each other every day and that we remain faithful to each other. But 2 weeks in, her text became shorter and she started to say that this is the life she always wanted. Hiking in paradise. Yeah, sounds like she'd make a great mother, right? Imagine having kids with this woman. You know, she'd be getting a babysitter. She would be out partying, or just, even if she doesn't do that, she'd be out doing things, Miss Independent. She's not going to be a loving, dutiful wife that's going to be homely and tend to her family and tend to your needs. No. So she's the type of woman that will just want a family for show. Just as like, as what most gold diggers do. Have the family with the good man as a backup. So in case her lifestyle doesn't work out or comes crashing down, she can cash in her chips, smash the break glass in case of emergency, pull the cord down, and out comes you. Because you're the backup. You're the second option. You're the last resort. You're the fallback. You're the airbag, right? So this is what happens. But again, he took things slowly. He started to piece it all together. He didn't move in with her. Didn't get married to her. Didn't have kids with her. So he's smart enough to relax, take it slow, and look at her character. Look at her personality. Look at her lifestyle choices. He's already asked her quality questions. He knows she's promiscuous. He knows she's got plastic surgery. She knows she's not over her ex. She knows she's definitely not healed from her childhood trauma. That's enough. But yet he still wants to see things through. So here she is living her best life in paradise. I went to visit her, but she was very distant. I told her that she's behaving like there is someone else in the picture and I would not tolerate it. But she never denied it. It broke my heart, but I flew back home determined to break up. I didn't break up right away because I learned to never make a decision without giving it a cool down period to see if it will be right. When she came back a few weeks later, I asked her what changed and she said that she wasn't happy with my busy lifestyle and wanted a break. Classic, he says. Yeah. Well, there you go. I knew I had to walk away. I made sure that I said everything I wanted to say before our final goodbyes. I put in the Zeigarnik effect into good use law, which is where you get a piece of paper, you write down all your feelings, everything you wish to say to give you more closure, and you keep doing that until your emotions kind of stabilize. I have a video on that too, which I'll have linked as well. I wished her well, as he puts as well, good riddance, and I told her that she needs to find therapy. See, even though she wronged him, he's still kind enough to say, please get help. I helped her move her stuff out of her apartment before she went back to Hawaii, and then I cut ties with her. She chose not to heal from her past, and it wasn't my job to fix her. I'm already at peace knowing that I did everything right by the book. Amen. I don't have any proof that there was another guy in the picture. Maybe she got fed up with the lifestyle. But I have enough proof that she was irreparably damaged and not the proper person for me. I'll never compromise. Absolutely. She wasn't wife material. So even though she's telling you at the beginning, oh yeah, I want to be a wife and I want to be a mum and I want to have a family and make sure my kids make sure my future children have a good man. That's all lies. She was giving you the good girl act, which is what gold diggers and damaged women do. Avoid such women. I landed my dream job in Vegas and I'll be moving there in a few months. This will really bump up my career and double my income. Congratulations. I don't know what I would get myself into moving into Sin City had I not been this keen on growth and self-improvement. I probably would have ended up involved in another rocky relationship with a damaged dancer with daddy issues. But knowing what I know now, I feel absolutely ready for my next challenge. He's embracing change. Masculine. Well done. No drinking, no casinos, and no clubs. I will meet my woman in a place of worship or any other place where damaged women don't care to go. Absolutely. Go to venues where you're going to come across women that are more conservative, traditional, and live by those values. They're more moral. Much better choice. And guess who messaged me on social media last week? Do you remember Cyborg Dan? If you watch that video, which I mentioned at the beginning, you'll know what I'm talking about. The guy my previous ex Jessica monkey branched to last year. And he said he will be her side boy until she breaks up with me. Well, I heard from a friend that they got married in September. 9 months after our breakup. So that was the previous girl. She cheated on him with this guy and they went together and got married. Imagine that. They are marrying based on dishonesty, based on her being a cheater. That's going to end great. I saw a message from him and I deleted it without opening it. He sent me another message but unsent it before I got to it first. I don't really care to know what he had to say. Maybe he was rubbing it in my face that he hit the jackpot. Maybe he realised that he married the wrong hoe and wanted to tell me that karma bit him in the arse. Maybe he just wanted to apologise. Or maybe it was my ex using his account to start up some drama. For all I know is that I'm still on their minds until this day and there was enough trouble in their little paradise to start messaging me. And this is the beautiful thing about being a man with integrity. When you're honest, when you're truthful, when you don't cheat on anyone, when you don't betray anyone, man, you can rest easy. You don't have to worry about karma or, bad omen happening to you because you treat everybody well to the best of your ability. Isn't that funny? That Cyborg Dan and your ex Jessica, they're both cheaters. They're both liars, deceivers. They've got no integrity. And look at them. They're still reaching out to you. If that is not closure, then I don't know what is. I blocked him too, as I don't want anything to disturb my peace. I was honestly very close to messaging him to thank them both for what they did to me, to get me started on this amazing journey of growth and healing. But he didn't. He knows the best success is to just move on and be happy. And he closed that chapter a long time ago. I didn't only heal from her, I'm healing from all my childhood trauma, PTSD and separation anxiety. I even helped my brother when he got head over heels with a covert narcissist and proposed to her 3 months without even introducing her to us. Oof. It took me one long phone call with him and he ended up seeing right through her behaviour. He was stunned by how much I knew about personality traits and disorders. I was literally telling him how she would react to certain situations without him telling me about them. When I told him what the future holds with this woman, he dumped her on the spot, and that is when she showed him her true colours, as most narcissists do. I had already told him what to expect when you break up with a narcissist, and so he wasn't surprised. And my journey still continues. I'm still reading a lot and learning more about philosophy, behavioural analysis, and human psychology. I know I have only learned a drop in the ocean, but I'm in no rush. Christian, my brother, I also want to thank you for everything that you do. You have truly helped me move from a state of breakdown, depression, and suicidal ideation to a state of knowledge, healing, and fulfillment. I feel enlightened. You saved my life and I owe you that. I have sent you a small New Year's present on your PayPal and I hope you accept it as a thank you token. I always keep you in my prayers and I'll keep in touch. That is very generous of you and thank you. Just puts a smile on my face. It's very lovely to hear that. And last but not least, I want to thank all the Jimmies out there who share their stories with us. I've personally learned a lot from them and I hope they learn from mine. Keep the growth, gentlemen. I'm already on the other side and I can tell you that the grass is definitely greener here as long as you keep watering it with knowledge, growth and morals. Much love. Well guys, there you have it. Do you see what this man did? Do you see how well he handled the situation? He didn't become bitter, vengeful, angry. He recognized she wasn't wife material and he cut ties. He ended things respectfully, he took the time to heal, and off he goes. In fact, because he's learned so much and he actually has put these values into practice, he's become more confident. And this is the beautiful thing. When you really embrace masculinity, not only are you a better leader to the woman in your life and leading yourself, but to others. His brother was struggling in a relationship with a covert narcissist. He got on the phone call and told him, you need to cut her off, and explained why. He just saved his brother from a world of dysfunction. But more importantly, look at what he did in his relationship. Most guys would give that woman another chance. He just saved himself from potentially moving in, having to split assets. Let's say he married her and things didn't work out. He would have to go through a divorce. He saved himself from that too. What if he had children with her? Well, he doesn't have to worry about being a single dad, does he? Because he didn't have them with her. He doesn't have to sit there and be upset because he spent 5 years of his life with a woman he shouldn't have. You know why? Because he didn't spend 5 years with her. He just spent 3 months. And in those 3 months, he analysed her behaviour. He set the tone of the relationship. He told her what his standards are, what he expects from her, what his principles, and he got to know her. You see, this is what what do weak men do? Weak men want to just date a woman, hook up and have fun and see where it goes. But a man that actually has direction in his life, he has order, he has a career or a business that he loves, he knows what he wants. What does that mean? When it comes to women, he is very detailed in what he wants from a woman. So he doesn't go in dating blind just for fun. See, this guy knows he wants a good woman he can share his life with and have a family with and build a legacy. Therefore, in order to do that, he knows the woman's got to be feminine, emotionally stable, completely ready to date, no ex in the background, and only displays green flags. Which means he's entering the courtship with an end goal. And as time goes on, he's measuring her character, her personality, her lifestyle, her behavior. Does it add up? Does this add up to what I need and what I want from a woman? It's not adding up. She's got to go. Because guess what? The values are more important than a dysfunctional woman. And that's why he wins. Do you see that? That's why it's so beautiful. When you have this knowledge, when you have this wisdom, yes, you can go out there and date. You may come across the wrong woman, but guess what? You know how to identify her. And when you do, you just walk away. No divorce, no children that you shouldn't have had with her, no years of heartbreak, no waiting for her to, become toxic or worse. You can walk away soon, you can walk away early on and move on and heal and create environment for a better woman to enter your life. And that's all you have to do. And that's why, look at what he did. He's got standards for himself. He said he would never compromise. He remained true. He put his principles and his morals above his lust and feeling. Because I'm sure she was a beautiful woman, as most Eastern European women are. And she was head over heels for him at the beginning. Most guys have that and they're sold because they're weak. But a man of true honor, of true value, he's not sold on a woman's beauty, because that's not what quality men do. We don't do that. Is she wife material? Because the Bible tells you, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. The Bible doesn't tell you, he who finds a 304, he who finds a promiscuous woman, he who finds a woman that got rammed through finds a good thing. No. It says he who finds a wife, which means he who finds a woman that has wifely character, who has good godly traits. A woman that has taken the time to prepare for wifehood and motherhood. A woman that knows how to keep a home. A woman that knows how to make a man happy. A woman that's feminine. A woman that's chaste. A woman that's modest. A woman that maintains her purity and her self-respect. Okay? A woman that is happy being a woman. She's not one of these feminists. You see? So it's so important to understand that. And as men, when you date and when you meet a woman, you must go with that mindset, knowing what you want. If you date to have someone long-term to spend your life with them because you want a family, you want kids, you want to get married, or just have a woman that you can spend your life with, then you date with a different mindset. You're not there to waste your time and see where it goes. Maybe she changes. No. When you recognize red flags, what does a quality guy do? Exactly what Jimmy did. You just wipe your hands and you walk out. That's it. It's not worth the risk. Are you going to sit there and waste more of your time when things could get worse, and then more of your emotions get intertwined, and then it's harder to break up later on? Something to think about. So that's what I really love about his story. It showcases the perfect example of a man that lives by his principles. If she doesn't match up to your principles, she's got to go. If you're a woman watching and he doesn't match up to your principles, he's got to go. Don't be so eager to give your life, your heart, invest your energy, give a woman your seed when you don't know who she is. It's your responsibility to protect yourself from the wrong type of woman. Because if she has any red flags, they probably will come out eventually. And when they do, you must be wise enough to identify them. And once you have confirmed that they exist, you must disqualify her. It is that simple. So I hope this video has been of value to you. And to all my long-term subscribers, I just would like to say thank you for all the love and support. For anybody who's new and you would like to reach out to me, whether it's booking a coaching call, sharing a story, whether it's a success story like this, or something that's happened to you that could educate other men or women, feel free to send me an email. The link is down below. If you would like to share my content, feel free. I give you full permission to share my videos with friends and family or anyone who may benefit from my work. With that said, I hope you will have a lovely weekend, and I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. With that said, I'll see you guys in the next one.